Hi, my name is Carly Hayton, and I'm going to be talking about Little Women for my oral presentation topic. Little Women was published in 1868, and it's about the March family. The book begins with Jo March, who is the second oldest of four sisters. She is raised by her mother because her father is in the army. Eventually, he is hurt, and so he does return home. But both of her parents are transcendentalists, so they are very much forward thinking in society, where they believe that women can do everything that men can. Her father was an educator before he did have to go to the army, and her mother was a social worker. So they really wanted to raise their daughters to know that they could do anything that they want, and they did not have to just act as women should, where they marry and do whatever their husbands ask of them. So Jo actually wanted to be a writer for her whole life, and so she, growing up, always wrote short stories, and it was mostly fiction. And then eventually she moved to New York to continue writing, where she was teaching two girls. And while she was there, she met a friend of a publisher who she ended up marrying later on. But he really pushed her to write her family story. Jo decided to write her family story after her sister died from effects of having scarlet fever. And Jo's book was very influential. And I think all of this is a real story, and I think it's a really influential part to our society because it does show how women can choose to be whoever they want to be. And I think that really relates to our course, and like especially in the Salem witch trials, which we just talked about and read in our recent chapters. The Salem witch trials, women were tried for just being women. No men were really tried except for family members or people who had relations to the women. In the Salem witch trials, 20 people were killed, and now we know that it wasn't lawful or right. So for Louisa May Alcott, who is the author of Little Women, to write this book and go against what society was thinking at the time, I think it's really brave of her, and I think it's a really important message that is good for schools to teach, especially women who are teenagers in high school, who are still very subject to unfair treatment. And I think by putting them in the mindset that they can do whatever they want to do, it really pushes them to achieve their goals and achieve their dreams. And so I think that's really important. Although Little Women does relate to our curriculum in a general situation, that it's old English literature. But I think it was really important for us to dig a little deeper into the book, and I really wish that we could all read this book together. But I think it really just shows that message that you have to go against society sometimes, and it's important to share your ideas, even if they're not really common, because if you're thinking it, the chances of someone else thinking it is pretty high. It's just if you have the courage to come out and say it against society when you know that you're in the minority of the opinion. And it really speaks to me as a female, because even in today's society, women are still treated unfairly. But we are working towards the goal of getting everyone to be equal. And it just shows us how far we've really come from the 1800s, when men still treated women like their own property. So in conclusion, I think that Little Women was an excellent book and is very important to our course, even though we can't read it together, but it's important to talk about because it does relate to our common theme that women and minorities can speak up and they can be treated equally, and to show how literature has improved with ideas over recent years. Thank you.